Hey guys, Broken Stars here. I'm gonna do a 1 hour, one table of 200Z play and explain. Uh, so we'll open King Jack off here. And I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I'll end up doing maybe a series of two to three videos after this of just reviewing basically every spot that I play here in like PO Solver, and maybe look at some population stats and whatnot. And just go over, see how I played it. So I can definitely bet here. This is completely 100% okay to bet, but I'm just going to be playing a pretty high frequency check. Turn the nuts. Well, this is a pretty good first hand. I don't expect to get too much value here. I think I'm just going to go a half pot. I don't think I really want to check again. I guess there's like some value maybe in like trying to get like this guy to hit a river set or something, but I don't know how often that's going to happen. And I was thinking about going small, but I think this guy has a lot of two pairs, and maybe I just look bluffy, so I'm just gonna bet bigger. If he ever calls two pair there, I think it's gonna be pretty good. Like he can have a lot of Queen Jack or like Ace Jack or Jack 10, and I think if I go like I think my other option like exploitatively is like maybe going like $5 or something, like literally 20% of the pot, just to try to get max value from to a certain extent those two pair hands, which might be folding a lot, and then if he ever just always calls ace five or something, like that could be like very good. This is like my first instinct was just to basically bet like $6, $5, but I changed my mind. If I had a bluff there, I'd mostly just be going with the sizing that I chose. There's merits to both, under different assumptions, I guess. So open the Queen 10 suited in MP. Get two calls, three-way, out of position, two blow cards, two-tone flop. I'm just going to be checking a lot. This is just kind of how I play these types of situations. But, betting small is pretty reasonable, I think. And we still want to be checking a lot, specifically on the spade turn. But I think I'm going to throw out a small bet, so I want some protection, and we get a lot of value. If someone has like threes with a spade, fours with a spade, sixes with a spade, we get a mix of value and protection because I think people might call or might fold. And then even, people have hands like King Jack, King Queen, Queen Jack still, a lot of one spade hands. Still probably supposed to be checking a lot, but when it checks around all the way on the flop and then would check to us there, then I think we'd start betting. Open the Jack 10, you're in position, I'm just never folding. And I'm probably supposed to be peeling a lot versus like most sizings. Definitely versus that sizing. And pair sevens actually I think kind of bad for us because I don't have like I'm not pure opening 8-7 suited or 7-6 suited. I'm probably not pure calling like A7, so it just reduces my combos of pocket sevens. It's a bad turn. I think my best turns from my range there would be like a 6 or an 8 or a 9. Just gives me more set combos. I guess a jack would be good too, since I have queen jack suited and probably have pocket jacks almost always. Any of those cards would have been good for me. Or the queen. I have a lot of queen X in that spot. Yeah, only reason I'm doing one table is just because it's a little bit more difficult to talk through two tables when my time bank is literally 15 seconds with no extra time on ignition. Exploitatively, like basically any playable hand's kind of close in the small blind, even at 200C, but like even more especially at like the lower limits. If you guys are playing like 5 and L, 10 and L, 50 and L, any of those stakes, typically the big blind's like folding well over 50% or a bit over 50%, 53, 54, like 10% 3 bet, so you can open a little bit more liberally. So I mix 5-6 here. Versus the minnow, and I probably call, but I'm just gonna play sort of my standard game. So typically like 5-6, 5-4. I usually probably 3 bet there like 25% of the time. I think they're probably close to break even or very close to it. I mean, would have to do more analysis to see if I like thought it was negative or positive. Usually those hands are going to be mixed in most pre-flop charts. So I'm going to have a 3x RFI strategy for the button, and I'll have another video sometime in the future where I basically do some analysis on this. I don't think we're supposed to range bet the 993, but I mean, even if we didn't, this hand would still be like quite good. Um, as a C bet. Basically calling river with ace high here. Likely anyway. And I'll just check down as played. I think those paired boards get like over raised and like pretty high frequency like raise fold. People have anywhere like they either have like a nine, a flush draw, or like just straight up air. And my ace deuce has like the backdoor straight draw with the three, and then the backdoor flush draw, and it's pretty weak. Feels like it should be defended. Um, and I think versus the population, just like doing a small raise is gonna be good. I think I would I'm definitely 3 betting the flop there like way more than Pio would. Like I could see myself like racing like eights basically, like pocket eights that is. So mostly just folding the fives. Top off. Just check behind. Flop the ace. Check once, and then pretty much we're just going to be betting for value. Still just going to bet for value versus fish. It's like kind of thin, I guess, on the river but whatever. Then we get snap re-raised, so just fold a lot. But I don't think he's ever folding like king queen, queen jack. Might even call like 7-6, So if he's ever calling a pair of sixes or like pocket sevens or something, which I think is definitely a non-zero chance, then you might as well just be betting yourself. And then once I get snap raised on the river, I think it's unlikely he's going to have bluffs. Like river raise is quite strong, and then like snap river raise from a fish is like I would perceive it as extremely strong. And they're always like fish are always uncapped. Like he can always have anything. He could have aces, ace king, ace queen, ace 10, pocket tens, pocket queens. He can have anything. So like he's way more uncapped than like fish are way more uncapped on every street than regs. So I could raise here, I guess, but actually don't ISO that wide when I'm out of position. Maybe peel. And hopefully ace 10 high is good. No reason to bluff. I think most jack would have bet turn though. I might call river with ace high. We'll just 3-bet the ace 4 here, blunder's cut off. Hopefully we don't get 4-bet. Take down, always good. We'll open the 10-7 if it folds to us. Bottom of the button RFI would be like 10-6. 10-5 would be wide. Just gonna fold the jack 5. Jack 7 ends up being close, blind versus blind. Like jack 7 off. Jack 8's like pretty easy to defend. And just fold the queen 8. Queen 9, probably 3-bet. Button was cut off. At least like yeah, probably 3-bet. Queen 9. Open pocket forwards, call a 3-bet. This game seemed slightly tight to me than usual. Might just be because I'm only playing one table. So 4-3 I would defend versus 2.5, but versus 3x I'll just fold. Although it's probably still kind of close, to be honest. Fold versus cutoff RFI. Well, maybe I will open up a second table. It's going just a little bit too slow for me. So I think 7-8 off is like mixed in equilibrium. I just like pretty much pure open it, blind versus blind. I think earlier I said 9-7 off is going to be close versus the population, so 8-7 off, mixed at equilibrium, just pure open in these games, and then 9-8 off is like fist pump open. So I can mix in some calls here on the button. Feel like calling this time. I play a mixed strategy on button, where I'll mix some calls. There's also this short stack here, which is nice. And this is like our nut bluff combo, and I can have king jack and sevens, so I'm just gonna go ahead and raise. It's just gonna be a range check for me on table 1. 7-5-4 UTG versus MP. So I'll have no bets here. I probably really don't have any check raises. If I ever check raise, it'd probably be like sevens or like ace six of spades or something. I'm gonna defend 5-4 off pre. I think people will just overfold versus the raise. But yeah, actually I think people will just overfold versus the raise. We'll just go with that. I didn't even fold like half the time. And I think once he calls, like my folding, like his folding frequency on turn is actually not going to be that high. Even though I pick up the 2, I'm just going to take my equity, and then I'd bluff diamond rivers basically. But it's a little wide on the flop, and I'm just going to give up. I'm not gonna bluff. I don't think he's ever folding like maybe he bet calls like sixes and gets to that river. I don't think he folds sixes. So if my assumption is he overfolds the flop, then presumably he's underfolding turn and river after that note. And I do have some like really profitable turn barrels. I think like if a diamond ever comes, I think they would overfold that like that run out, like if a diamond comes. But in the absence of like a very specific river return, then if they're just blanks, I don't think they're folding often enough for me to really justify bluffing. So I'm just gonna be checking a lot with my draws. So they're like a little bit more reasonable. So we ice to the fish, we get cold called by another fish, flop 10-9-6. I mean, just check. Check fold, I guess. King 7 a little close. So we get the 3-bet here. Tens is mixed in equilibrium. I don't know about in practice. Feel like we could have donks here. Tens seems like a good donk actually. Can have sevens, nines, eights. I don't know if people are like really ever bluffing here, but I don't think they would bluff future streets that much. And if we got like a 9 or a 7 or a 10 turn, that'd be like very good for us. Yeah, I highly doubt anyone's bluffing here, but his raise sizing on the flop is really small. So call the flop for sure, and then I'll just fold the turn. If I had like checked and he barreled off, I mean, I'm probably calling down tens. So maybe when I push him into this node where I donk the flop, under the assumption like he's under bluffing versus the donk, then maybe I can just start overfolding and that would be a good reason to do it. It's like not only can I do it at equilibrium, but like pushes him into a node where he's like even more unbalanced. I can make some exploitative plays. But that would be a good one to analyze in depth. So ace 10 suited I think is like mixed in equilibrium on table 1, but I just pure 3-bet. And then we get cold 4-bet for a large size, so we'll go ahead and muck. I guess I peel 7s here. It's kind of annoying. Wow, this is actually kind of weird. If that guy called, it would have been definitely weird. Would we flop it? No. Okay. Do a lot of check raising on this texture. This probably actually does get defended in theory, but I mean, I don't think I'm good enough to make it profitable. If I had a spade, I would go ahead and just raise it probably. Raise or call. I think without a spade, it's dubious. So 5-8 suited will get defended. Well, not anymore. Okay. I'm gonna start small. I feel like I could have some bigger bets here, some bigger sizings, but I think they're, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. You folded. But I think I could have some bigger bets on the flop on the king jack 10 and then just have some checks. I'm gonna 3-bet to 11 versus the 70 big blinds stack. Obviously just kind of get it in. And Jack 8's like kind of close, I guess. I'd open Jack 9 and MP. I'd open Jack 8 if like I knew a table was soft, which would be wide. And I think we can 3-bet 10s, decent amount for MP. Probably call too. Probably just do like half and half, to be honest. I'm not really strong. I don't feel strongly about it either way. So this is kind of interesting. This is a squeeze spot. I think I'm gonna bluff this. Certainly prefer like an ace, but I think in the squeeze spot where this guy's short, this guy could be pretty wide. And like queen nine's just like on the edge of, like, it's between like call, fold, or raise. It's kind of like doesn't really care what it does too much. This is versus a fish. I think with the ace of hearts, I'll just bet this one myself. And I don't think I want a 3-bet. I'm just gonna keep bluff catching, I guess. I don't think I really want to bet myself. And the guy had Jack 3, okay. So spewing a little bit versus the 1/3, I guess, both pre and post. I'm just gonna mock ace deuce versus the short stack 3x. King 6 is pretty close here, actually. Doesn't really care what it does too much. I'm gonna fold that time, mostly just because he 3-bet like instantly, but I defend it sometimes. Don't really feel that strongly about it. Get a 3x open. Table 2. Okay. I play a 12 BB 3-bet versus a 3x open. I'm 3-betting like 13% probably. 13, 14%. We get a super fast snap call. Probably just leading range for 1/3. Lose for say 2 combos of ace 3 and 3 combos of 8s, 3 combos of 6s. Keep betting. It's really hard for him to defend here, actually. I mean, he's Not supposed to really be jamming, I don't think, but we have an easy call. He had Jack 8. Okay. Jack 8's actually like pretty similar to the King 6 from before, but like the guy when I had the King 6, the guy 3-bet to 22 and he was like a little bit shallower. And then this scenario I 3-bet to 24, which kind of does make a difference. I feel like Jack 8's probably supposed to be a pure fold. Do a cold 4-bet. It's kind of big, but we're out of position here, so. And this guy is like 130 something deep with us. Really not thrilled about getting called. So I'm probably going to play this a little weird. I think I'm just going to bet like 20% with range on the flop and then have a mix of like checks and bets for turn. That's kind of how I would play that spot. Not sure what I'm supposed to really be doing, but yeah, half pot bet here. This guy's like a lot of pair draw hands or like sevens. Yeah, I guess sevens would be like pair draw. Okay, we get an absolutely stunning river. And he goes half pot again, and I think I'm jamming. He even goes a little bit less than half pot. I don't know if I ever get called, but too nitty to call this. There's like conceivable like natural bluffs in my range too, you know, like ace 7 or something. So this is a limp call. I guess eights don't really care too much, but I'll just go half pot. Get some protection, get some value. I guess I'll check turn. Again, this is limped pot. He snap checks. Okay, and then versus fish, I'm like always going to be value betting. And I'll just go. We'll go really small actually. I'll go 1/3. We get raised. We have an easy call. Lose to King Jack, I guess, is the only combo. Wow, ace 8. Nice hand, buddy. Get donked into on the jack, which is kind of interesting. I think I'm just going to play ace 10 as a call. Gonna have some raises though. Or I might. I mean, this is like bad combo having diamonds, but I actually might just hero call ace high here. Yeah, I think I will actually. So I get a little bit more value maybe by going smaller versus the fish in this exact circumstance on the previous hand. Maybe he spazzes into me sometimes, but I think when he raises that big on the river, it's mostly just value. But I think it's way better. I just bet myself. I think by going the smaller sizing, you still give them kind of the option to spew into you a little bit. And then, you know, when he does have the one pair or two pair hands, you get more value because he's not going to be betting those himself when check two. And then the ace 10 call down, it's like really easy for him to have bluffs, and I think he'd probably choose a bigger sizing with the trip jacks. So he went like half pot on turn, and then he went like 48% on river. And I went 1/3 on the flop, so I mean his value range is only Jack X. I don't think it's particularly relevant, but I did block. Actually, I'll check behind. I did block, Ace Jack, Jack 10. I don't think it's particularly relevant, like I said, but like obviously I blocked some of his natural bluffs and that I blocked some diamonds, but Fish is going to be wide pre-flop. I think it was, what is it, 9-3 deuce on the flop. So it's like 6-5, 5-4, 6-4. Mm, you can see him peeling with, Queen 10, King 10. Those turn a straight draw. Yeah. So this guy min opened. I'm defending the Queen 8's like kind of close. And then on the 4-4-7, because this guy min opened, you can raise like very often. Like very often actually. And I mean nines could bet here probably most of the time. I'm gonna probably check raise my nines. And I think I'd rather just bet myself, get some value and some protection. I guess I check call. Not really sure what else I can do here. Just gonna say is definitely has a lot of clubs. I'm gonna give up this on the turn. River is straight, okay, but it's also on a flush draw river. I'm surprised he didn't bet himself. So I actually don't have that many flushes. I mean, I think he'll always call me with like King Jack, I guess. I don't think I can really overbet like this hand. Well, I mean, this sucks a lot, but I mean, this is never supposed to be a fold. It's very large though. It's actually well played by him. I would play it the same way as him. But I can't really see myself folding 9-8. But it is like terrible to not have diamond. Like I have some ace king with a diamond, I guess, and I actually do have some flushes. And yeah, I mean, it's just well played by him, I think. Like I think he gets me off some like two pairs. Like if I had Queen Jack, I mean, I'm definitely betting the river, and I think I would just fold to that river raise. Oh, this guy is super short. I feel like this is actually kind of close, but just muck. It's like too short to really consider calling, I think. The sizing was just kind of small. But yeah, that's a really tough spot for a big portion of my range. Like I could have jacks on the river, I could have Jack 10, Queen Jack. Um, I have Ace King, 9-8, and then I have, some just like pure bluffs and then some diamond hands, I guess. But I don't really have too many diamond hands. But I could see myself, if I have like Ace 9, I mean, I'm gonna bluff that river. Just try to make it just like 10x weak pairs, kind of indifferent. like one pair hands, like King Jack. So this is an ISO and a 3-bet. So I could 4-bet. I'm gonna probably 4-bet this half the time. Although, maybe I'll just 4-bet it this time. Get called. Jack flop. Could have jacks. I'd say he's still like relatively uncapped. Yeah, I think I'm jamming this turn. Could have some Jack X suiteds or some club hands. Ace King. Could we just get it in? Yeah, it's still uncapped there. Pretty much a cooler though. Like super deep here. Actually, don't mind checking sometimes deep. Yeah, definitely uncapped versus the 4-bet, I think. I think he should just jam kings like 100% pre-flop, but you know, he can definitely have pocket aces. It's also like a slightly weird dynamic in the fact that it was an ISO pot, so like I ISO'd limp. And I think 3-bets versus that are typically going to be wider. I mean, this 3-bet sizing is tiny, so call. Are typically going to be wider. So I do like having a little bit more 4-betting going on from my point of view, just because he's presumably going to be maybe a little bit wider than if I had just opened MP. Well, maybe about the same though, I'm not sure. And then, I mean, I have to bet the flop, and then turn, I think I just have to jam. I have too much to protect from, even a hand like Ace King, which he can certainly have pre-flop still, has a lot of equity, and he can have some other, like Ace X hands, like flush draws. Lose to jacks, lose to kings and aces, and I would discount kings pretty heavily, so I lose to like 9 combos of hands, and my 4-bet was also pretty small, so we can have could have queen jack suited, jack 10 suited, ace jack suited, and he could peel the flop maybe versus my like 1/4 ish sizing. I think I went like 28%, 30%. Queen 4/3 rainbow. Just gonna probably 1/3 my range. Easy call versus this tiny raise. It's only like 3x. Call all of our pairs here for sure. Deuce is very good for him. Completes 6-5 and ace-5, which is a big portion of his bluff combos, like natural bluff combos. So probably the highest EV turn for him, to be honest. It's like a 2 or a 5. So this is kind of weird just because all of these calls. I'm gonna call under the assumption like they're fishy, and like if I do hit good, like I can, you know, I'm capable of folding a flush and whatnot, so getting good odds. We just face an overbet, okay. Interesting. Just gonna limp in. I think I'm just gonna bet out pretty often here. And I just give up with everything. Big blind actually has more 5x than me, but he also has like more air. But it's just like a low paired board with the king. I feel like could probably make them both fold around the frequency I need them to profit. If they're both folding around 2/3 of the time, which I think they will be, then it should be fine. Another limp, okay. Get a pair this time. What's this? 9x open? No idea what's going on in this hand, but my range is like so tight from pre-flop that I don't know. Don't know what's going on. Oh, this guy has short stack, oops. Probably could just limp in 10-9. Sweet hand. Supposed to call my pairs pretty much here. He didn't make his 4-bet that big, and we flop the nuts. Oh, that's really lucky. Well, I mean, the sizing is like kind of awkward. I don't think I ever have any calls here, to be honest. Pocket tens. Interesting. Interesting turn bet. Like, I don't know. Like, having tens there is, like, kind of bad. It's like really hoping I have king queen, I guess, and like even then I can get a king or a queen. So, don't know. But very, very, very lucky for us to flop the set. It was some really good run good. So I'm just gonna check once and then probably bet turns. Or it's just gonna overbet, okay. 8-5-4, I'm just gonna be checking a lot versus the big blind. That's UTG. Can obviously bet turn a lot. Actually, yeah, we'll just bet turn a lot. Seems fine. Could probably check again if I really wanted to. Like king jack. Just gonna be one of my weakest kings. King Jack, King 10 suited or something. And I feel like people can play a little bit tricky on the king turn and still just check raise a ton, so. And we'll fold that. Pair king board, blind versus blind, just gonna be a range bet. Super snappity call. I'm just gonna check. And queen's actually a really bad card because queen 9, queen 10, ace 10, 10 9, backdoor spades. Everything kind of gets there, which is bad. Yeah, this kind of sucks. Just because I don't know how often he'd like peel the flop with like an ace or an air and then like bluff this, but I mean it's technically supposed to be a call, very likely anyway. It's like pretty much the not worst river I would say is a queen, queen of spades to be more specific even. It's like out of the 46 the cards that could have came, I'm pretty sure that's the not worst one. So maybe I should just fold a lot. Okay, this guy's 17 bigs, easy call. Good flop, good turn, good river, nice. I thought this would be a little bit harder with two tables, but it's not so bad. Cold four here. This is going to be tricky to play because he can three bet and then call my four bet actually kind of wide. And it'll be, yeah, I mean, he'll just have a lot of hands. It's kind of tough for us to play. I feel like I can bet kind of big here. Shouldn't have fours, threes, twos. He could have ace five or six five, but we'll just start with a half pot bet. I guess this is, yeah, I probably can just half pot bet for range on that spot because he shouldn't have any of the sets. Could be a good one to run as well. So 8-7 off here is on the wider side for sure, but short stack in the big blind. Maybe open up my range just a tad. As a default in the zone games when there's like a 140 stack. So maybe I go from like a 42% RFI to like 47, something like that, in that spot. Go about 5 more minutes. Certainly a decent amount of limping going on, which is always good to see. I said Jack 7 is close, Jack 8's close. You can mix in 3 bets with those types of hands. And I think I will just check. Just check again. He should be betting quite big. I mean, I'm gonna snap call 3/4, but yeah, I feel like he should be going like quite a bit bigger there. Although honestly, I could see him supposed to be betting sixes on the turn. But like he can have ace six suited. I'm not gonna have ace six suited. He can have pocket sixes. I'm not gonna have sixes. Just gonna have a little bit more sixes than me. But I mean, fantastic run out just to split the pot there since I had Jack 8 offsuit, so it's nice. It's kind of awkward as this guy jams, but it's probably call. And I guess I'll just go 1/3. Still just gonna keep going 3/4 on the 7 while we have trips, so it's kind of simple. And this is kind of a fucking annoying spot, but we just get it in. Can't imagine doing anything else. Decides to call the 3-bet with like 30 bigs with the pocket fours and flops a set. Good for him. And I think I'm just gonna keep going for a 3/4 sizing. Interesting. Just gonna half pod 9/7. Yeah, I can't really fold ace queen in that spot. Just like flush draw, could have jack 10, could have ace 4 or 5 4. I mean, he could have so many things, but it definitely is not great when he raises. Prefer he calls or folds. I guess calls. Prefer he calls, I guess. So we have 2 pair here. I think we have a lot of block bets in this spot. We have like a lot of sevens, threes, 7 6 8s, 9 8 type stuff. I'm just gonna go for a small size. We only lose to threes. Just gonna go for a small size again. Shouldn't have threes, but obviously they do. These will be my last hand, so I'm gonna sit out next big blind and then end this video. There's a few interesting spots. There actually wasn't that many, but I think what I'm gonna end up doing is going through this recording and then finding the few hands that were interesting and doing some analysis on them. All right, thanks guys. Have a good one.